Sanemi is by far the most goated Hashira, easily, no fucking debate. And yes, I know you niggas see the thumbnail. You're probably wondering, why did this horny ass, degenerate ass, weeb ass nigga put this Genya cosplay as the picture on the thumbnail if we're doing a Sanemi Glaze video? And that's simply because this is not only a Sanemi Glaze video, this is a fucking jumping video. This is a video of one of the most peak jumpings in I almost said Jujutsu Kaisen because that show is full of jumpings, but this is one of the most peak jumpings in Demon Slayer, my nigga. So boom, even though this is a two-part Sanemi Glaze Fest, we're gonna give Genya his flowers, you feel me? Pum pum breathing, 5th form, gorilla grip. Into the video.
Why they say that bitch, I'm blazing, I got big diamonds. Bad bitches pulling up on me, they say my be a private. I just walk this side, this fucking bit, and I'm on be about it. I'm a man that got so fucking big, they want me dead, probably. That's a week, I was rocking diamonds, I don't run no back. Bad bitch saying that she let me when I fuck a place. Barely, I can see, bitch, I bought a crib, it's barely ass me. I'ma tell you nothing, that's the way I.
So, the first thing we see is Genya being fed some strands of Kokushibo's here, and I guess he's about to eat that shit because we know that he eats demons, right? And that's his whole thing. He has regenerative skills, and the fact that he's holding out after being sliced in half in the previous chapter, commendable. We'll give him his flowers, you feel me? So we see Muichiro feeding Genya some of Kokushibo's hair, and he says, "Genya, are you okay? Genya, pull yourself together, just hang on." And Genya is having a visceral reaction to eating Kokushibo's hair again. Kokushibo is upper moon number 1, so he has a large potency of Muzan's blood, so it seems as if his body is just now reacting to that. And he says, "A voice, ooh, what?" And then he said, "I reconnected my torso, I'm recovering at an extremely fast pace. All of this from just eating some hair? This is how concentrated upper moon 1's blood is. My blood is circulating even faster. This feels good. There's one more blade fragment that broke off from the upper moon sword. If I eat that, then..." His voice again. It's resounding in my heart. We get a panel of Muzan's voice reverberating through Genya's mind, saying, "Kokushibo, how many pillars have you defeated? Do not let them come here yet." And Genya says, "Is this Muzan-san's voice? The demodification is moving so fast that I can hear his voice. What's gonna happen to my body?" So we get a panel of Kokushibo saying, "I see now. These two are most likely two of the more powerful fighters even among the pillars. Especially this man. This is a warrior with a peerless body. It doesn't even matter that he's blind. This weapon is very well thought out." Swinging the chain creates an echo that allows him to accurately grasp the space and movements around him. It may be quite hard to believe, but it's certainly evident, which means I should first try to destroy this man's sword. If I strike it from the side, it'll shatter with ease. And then we see Kokushibo going in to try and fuck with Sanemi's blade. But my nigga anticipates that move and he pushes his sword swing, or he thrusts it forward before Kokushibo can even have the chance to apply pressure and break the blade. And then Kokushibo says, he thrusts his sword to push back against mine. His reflexes are speeding up. And yeah, man, we're getting a result here. As I said in the previous video, if y'all niggas thought he was locked in before, now that we see this Demon Slayer mark manifested, he's about to go crazy, bro. So then Kokushibo says, "It may be true that his mark appeared, but those wounds would normally be fatal enough to leave someone incapable of battle. I never expected that his movements would actually increase in speed and precision." So again, yeah, man, as I said, he got hit with that death blow. He stitched himself up. He ate that shit in the last chapter, and then he's just like, again, like you thought that he was gonna be on his last legs. Nah, this nigga's just getting better. He's locking in because again, you turned his fucking little brother into sashimi, fun nigga. So you gonna get yours. I promise you gonna get yours. Very last shot we see is of Genya doing some form of blitz speed. We see a close-up of his face, and then in the very next panel we actually see that he's close the distance and he's about to deliver a devastating slice to Kokushibo's face, and homie barely dodges that shit. He ducks or he dips off to the I guess to his right side, and Gyome just barely takes off his ears, and without even giving him a moment to breathe, Sanemi comes in with Dust Whirlwind Slice, and he sends that shit towards Kokushibo. Right after sending off that attack, without even missing a beat, without even breaking a sweat, both of these niggas go into their next attack. Breath of Wind 7th form, Breath of Rock 1st form, Strong Wind Tengu Gale, Serpentine Twin Poles. They send that shit at Kokushibo. These niggas are not breaking stride, and they are on 10 right now. Look at the way that the paneling is showing. Sanemi's wind slashes going around Yome's ball and chain, going around his little axe. Like, these niggas were on some fucking timing, bro. Next thing we see is Kokushibo's clothing getting ripped to shit, and Yome quickly says, "We're not done yet. Press on." His head, until we cut off his head. And I mean, bro, their blood is boiling, their Demon Slayer marks are up, and these niggas are coming for the kill. When I say this is some bloodlusted timing, like, they're on 10. And Kokushibo, he turns around exuding this death aura, and he says, "That's right. That's exactly right." And the next panel we get is a double spread out of nowhere. We don't even see the animation of the moon slashes. We don't even see the animation of the blade work. We just see Sanemi and Kokushibo with multiple slashes appearing on their body, and blood and just like blood splatter, just straight carnage. And we're not even seeing the connection, the blade work. So you know that it's about to get crazy. Yome says, "Impossible, what just happened? He managed to attack us from that distance. What did he do? What?" And then we're getting the fog clearing here, and then we get a clean double spread panel of Kokushibo with his awakened Nishiden blade. I guess this is his blood demon art is now awakened his Nishiden blade, and he says, "All you did was tear my kimono off. Not even an infant would die from that. If I can kill the two of you, then everyone else should be defeated very easily." That is the end of chapter 171. Wasting no time, my nigga, into chapter 172. Let's go. Chapter starts off with a panel of Genya and Muichiro, and we see that Genya is actually helping Muichiro tie his Nishiden blade to his fucked up hand that I guess is too crippled to hold it. So I mean, bro, when I say by any means necessary, these niggas are coming for the kill. The next panel we get says, "A fierce attack from Upper Moon 1 hits the pillars." We see Sanemi gripping the fuck out of his Nichiren blade as he's steadying himself, and bro, he has lost 2 fingers. If you look closely at the paneling, you can actually see that a slice has gone through 2 of his fingers there, and we see both of them drop to the ground. Genya says, "Shinizugawa." Bro says, fuck, I was barely able to react. If Himejima-san didn't change the attack's trajectory with his chain, I would have not only lost my fingers, but both my arms as well. God damn it. The more wounded I get, the more sluggish I become. Then Sanemi says, "It's only a matter of time before I become nothing but a burden, and my rare blood has pretty much lost its effect, even though it should be working on strong demons. Fuck this shit. What's more is that monster is swinging that insanely large sword so fucking fast. Can I dodge the next attack? Can I slice that sword into pieces?" And then we get a panel of the crows flying ahead here above the battle, kind of displaying the carnage and sending the data back to the young Ubiyashikis. One of the young Ubiyashikis then says, "Kirya-sama, should we send the other pillars to where Upper Moon 1 is? Tomioka Gyu and Kamado Tanjiro can both go there." And then Kirya-sama says, "No, Gyu and Tanjiro will keep heading towards Muzan. As for Upper Moon 1, Yome, Sanemi, Muichiro, and Genya will defeat him for sure." So my boy has faith. Next panel we get is of Kokushibo steadying his blade as he's about to release some Breath of Moon slashes. He says, "Breath of Moon 7th form." Then he says, "Misfortune Mirror, Lunar Shrine." And he sends that shit from downfield, bro. Genya says, "From that distance, that's more than twice his usual attack range. and he's speed. This isn't good. Then Kokushibo says, Breath of the Moon, 8th form, Lunar Ouroboros. And he sends this fucking wide, crazy arcing slash, bro. And Sanemi's leg gets caught up in some of that, and I'm not sure if Genya, or I'm not sure if Gyomei was able to parry that, but we do see some paneling of him moving back. And then we hear Sanemi saying, I can't aim for his head, I can't even get close, he's too fucking fast. I can only ward off his attacks with my sword, and that's already taking everything I've got. And without even giving them a second to breathe, he says, Breath of the Moon, 9th form, Descending Moon, Perpetual Phases. And I mean, bro, these names and the paneling for his blade work is just getting crazier and crazier. Like, it's damn near, it's just covering more and more of the screen. So you already know that there's almost like, there's little to no room for error for these niggas to fuck up here, essentially. So we get a panel of Sanemi making his way through the blade work, or making his way through the slashes, but he does not get through unscathed. Again, we see his back getting cut up, and we see some more slashes going to his arm. Gyomei says, Shinizugawa, and Sanemi says, Himejima-san, forget about me. And while Gyomei is seemingly distracted, Kokushibo says, Breath of the Moon, 10th form, Piercing Phase slash Ivy Moon. And we get a panel of what it looks like to be, I mean, this looks like it's about to be the end for Sanemi here. But out of nowhere, Muichiro, the young goat, is able to grab my boy. And Sanemi says, Tokito. And Muichiro says, I won't let you die. You can still wield your sword with both of your arms. While this is going on, we see Genya peering around the beam from the distance. Gyomei holding off Kokushibo, and he's saying to himself, I can do this. Can I be useful, or will he just notice me again and finish me off by slicing my torso? And he says to himself, Aniki, I don't want to let you die. I can't afford to screw up now. And then he thinks to himself, Himejima-san, Tokito-san, fuck. If only I was stronger, if only I was a pillar. The more I want to save them, the more my body freezes up. I can't move correctly. I'm scared. Scared of being useless. Scared of being unable to protect my friends. Why am I so weak? It sucks so much. Being weak absolutely sucks. And then he gets a flashback of Tanjiro saying, the weakest person, he has the most potential in them gun. Then he gets a flashback of Sanemi saying to himself, the weakest person, he has the most potential in them gun. Continuing that flashback, Tanjiro says, that's what happened when I fought Upper Moon 6. I could change the situation because it was weak. The enemy can only be on guard against so many of us. Once you pass a certain amount of people, the enemy will think about how they should categorize everything. Their wall of vigilance will always be thick and tough against strong people. But if your enemy believes you're a weak human, that wall will be thinner and weaker. So if a weak person destroys that wall with an unexpected blow, the winds of fate will change at once. That will pave the way to victory. And then he's thinking to himself, Tanjiro, really? You really think so? You really think I could do it? Oh, bro, this is so real, man. Like, Tanjiro instilling that in my boy. And then he pulls out that shard of Kokushibo's blade and he says, I'll do it. I'll do it, I have no choice. I think only a victory. I will not let Aniki, Master, or any of my friends die. And he eats Kokushibo's blade. He says, I wanted to save this just in case I got diced up again. But spineless ideas out of the question. Don't lose that aggressive attitude. You get a panel of him downing a broken chipped piece of Kokushibo's blade, man. That is probably hard to swallow, but he got it down, and that is the end of 172. We're going to be going right into 173 right away. So chapter starts off with Genya saying, Breath of Rock, 5th form. But before he can even finish that, we see Breath of the Moon, 16th form, Lunar Rainbow, Fragmented Moon. And we just see him and Sanemi just zigzagging around the fucking carnage. Bro, I mean, I don't know if y'all are starting to take in, but 16th form? 16th? Oh, these niggas is cooked, bro. And it makes sense because as a demon slayer who is essentially an immortal demon, it would make sense that he would just continue to hone his craft. Next thing we see is Genya saying his techniques just won't stop. How many forms does he even have? And I mean, I was just like, literally, bro, I just said it. And then he says, this is weird, he's way too fast. I can't attack, everything I do is being anticipated. But the pace is going way too fast. As if I'm making a mistake, I get pinned down before I can even start attacking. He's predicting the exact moment I come up with a technique. It's insane. Then Gyome says, is he using some kind of divine power? What can this demon see? What is he seeing? And then he says to himself, refine your senses, understand why it feels wrong. Demons are transformations into human form. Anything a demon can do, a human can do as well. Breaths make humans as strong as literal demons. Then Gyome says, these eyes which cannot see, can see one's true nature. I will never be misled. I'll observe him to the best of my abilities. And then we do see here, and then the next thing we see is a panel of Gyome finally seeing into what I guess the demon slayers call the invisible world or the see-through world. I forget the verbatim name that they use for it in this series, but essentially he's able to analyze Kokushibo's movements and his body to such an intricate level that he's seeing the movement of his muscles, he's seeing his skeletal structure. And then Gyome says, what on earth is this? I can perceive his pulse. I actually have a clear image. Could this be? Could this really be? And then Muichiro says, inside. Get inside his attack range. For even just a moment, if I can stop Upper Moon's one movement for just one short moment, if I can slow down his attack for even a second, Himejima-san or Shinizugawa-san will cut off this guy's head. Then Muichiro says, I lost an arm. The bleeding is getting worse. I don't have a lot of time left. Hurry, while I can still move, while I can still be of use. Bro, I'm not gonna lie, this little nigga got it, man. He's young too, bro. This nigga's 14, bro. This nigga had bare potential. And then we get a panel of what looks like Gyome and Sanemi blitzing to adjust their positioning to Muichiro's plan. And he then says they're adjusting to my plan. And then Kokushibo says in his head, they have no other option but to approach me at the same time, but now I can take all three of them at once. Breath of the Moon, 14th form. Calamity. Heaven's full crescent moon. And Muichiro saying to himself, get in, push through into his attack range. Just like they're barely trying to, bro, they're just trying to find an opening, man. And he says, go under his attacks. The spaces where his attacks overlap. And we see here, it looks like just for a split second, Kokushibo gets distracted because one of Gyome's prayer beads, I guess, hits him in the hand, and he says, the chain ball man's Juzu bead. Did he throw that the moment he swung his chain? How did that slip through my sight? And then next thing we see is a dust whirlwind slice, breath style getting sent off right in front of Kokushibo, and before he has a chance to react to that, the right side of his torso is blown off by Gyome's ball and chain. And then he says again, I see now. This man has, and before he can react, we look down and we see that Muichiro has stabbed him in the lower torso, lower abdomen area. You feel me? One of his legs is completely fucking severed. To which Kokushibo acknowledges that, and then he says, this wounded child barely managed to dodge my attacks. Even if they were slowed down by the Juzu bead, that doesn't mean, could it be that his eyes, are they actually seeing the same world I'm seeing? And we then get a panel of Muichiro also seeing the invisible or the see-through world, so I guess he is now awakened that vision as well. And then we then get some more paneling of Kokushibo saying, it must also be true for this man, he's aware of it. He only began seeing that world in the middle of our fight. And then to top it off, this man, He took my eyes into account. He's manipulating his own blood flow and disturbing my attacks. Several unpredictable events have just happened, but none of their swords have reached my neck. As for their plans and distractions, once I understand them, they'll lose all purpose. Breath of the Moon, 16th form. And we see a panel of Muichiro holding on to Kokushibo here and saying, don't let go, even if I get diced up into pieces. And then he says, Genya, go ahead and shoot. And we see a panel of Genya here. And damn, bro, we get the effect of eating that nigga's sword, you feel me? We see here that he's manifested a demon slayer mark. He now has demon eyes that are very similar to what Kokushibo has on his own face. And not only that, he has this gross ass fucking growth going over his gun with the eyes, similar type effect of as Kokushibo's Nichirin blade. And then we hear Muichiro saying, don't mind me anymore. If I can stop Upper Moon One's movements, you can shoot the both of us down. Don't you dare hesitate. And he pulls that trigger, to which Kokushibo parried a lot of the attacks, and we see some Breath of Moon slashes going off, but we do see a couple that look like they connected with him. For the sake of brevity and efficiency, I'm going to be skipping over Kokushibo and Yoruichi's backstory in chapter 174. We're going to be skipping right to chapter 175 just so we can stay in the action. Not only that, I do think that Yoruichi and Kokushibo deserve their own dedicated story, their own dedicated video going over their backstory and their lore. So that's also something I want to do on the ones. So again, we're going to go ahead and just skip into chapter 175. Chapter 175 starts off with Kokushibo screaming, and it says, the howl of certain death. And we pick up right where we left off with Sanemi and Gyome about to hit that death blow. And Kokushibo just releases a crazy scream, and he just releases these flurry of slashes from all around his body. And he sends, when I say he sends everybody flying, he sends Sanemi, Gyome, Muichiro, and I'm not gonna lie, it just looks like he fucking no diffs Genya. That nigga's dead for sure. And when we get a panel of him, we now see that he is sprouting blades from everywhere in his body. So then Muichiro says, swords from his body. Without any swinging motion, he unleashed a number of swords in his attacks. And we were having so much trouble with just one sword a while ago. This monster, shit, I'm gonna die. I'm not gonna be of any use. And bro, oh my god, bro, we see nigga, yo, RIP to this nigga, bro. I really felt this shit, but we see Genya on the ground bleeding out, saying, protect everyone. But nigga, I'm not gonna get emotional, but if I was gonna get emotional, it'd be for shit like this right here. I ain't gonna lie. The next panel we get is of Gyome and Sanemi getting close to, I guess, just retaliate to that onslaught of attacks, and Muichiro says, not good. Majima-san and Shinizugawa will fight until they die, but I can't let them die. And I mean, that's really what it is. Like, they have no option. Like, it's pack this nigga up or get packed up. Because what is the option at this point, right? And then Muichiro says, Muzan is still there. I have to protect these two for everyone's sake. And he's right. This nigga is not the end game boss, bro. You can't use all your flask on this nigga, bro. He's not end game. This nigga's Godfrey, not the Elder Beast. We cannot die to him. So boom, Muichiro says, another technique, I have to do something before I die. While gripping his sword, he notices that his Nichirin blade is starting to change color, and it's turning red. And we all know that when Nichirin blades turn red, it increases the effect that it has on the demon. So he says, what is this? My body's getting stiff. It feels like my organs are being seared with fire. Next thing we see is Sanemi swinging in his sword, like he's trying to get a killing blow on his neck. Then we zoom out and we get a panel of Genya saying, they're still there. My flesh bullets are in his body. Everyone is attacking him, but he can't fend everyone off. Blood demon technique. And he holds out that bloody stump, bro. And again, we get some more roots spawning from his body, and Kokushibo acknowledges, and he says, Kokushibo says, another tree's rooting for me? What a nuisance. I'll cut him in half and finish him off. And he is trying to send out an attack, but he's saying my technique isn't coming out. So it seems as if between the red blade and the blood demon art, his breathing styles have been nerfed. And the next thing we see here is a panel of Yome's ball and chain swinging towards this motherfucker's head top, and it looks like it barely misses, grazes past his skin, because we're seeing some steam come off, to which Kokushibo screams. Yome says, "That's one sturdy neck, our attacks still aren't enough." And we can actually see the ball and chain piercing out the back of his neck there, and we do see that they're trying to get his neck from both angles, from both sides, because we see the axe piece of Yome's blade coming out from the bottom. And then Kokushibo says, "My techniques aren't coming out. Is it because of the tree on my back? It's sucking out a lot of my blood in order to grow its trunk. And then there's a searing pain stiffening my body because of that red blade. A red blade just like Yorichi's." Then Kokushibo remembers asking Yorichi, "What is your plan of succession? Nobody is powerful enough to rival us. There's absolutely no hope for anyone to succeed our breath techniques. Our perfected techniques will disappear from this world." To which Yorichi says, "Brother, we are not as big as you make us out to be. We're nothing but a small fragment in humanity's long history. Someone who could very well surpass our talents could be a crying baby at this very moment. They are all going to arrive at the same place regardless. There's no need to worry. We should just reach the end of our lives feeling nothing but ease. Can you feel the excitement, brother? One day, the children who will be born into this world after us, and climb up will surpass us to even further heights." And as those words ring out to Kokushibo, we see that he has been decapitated. Sanemi has pushed down Yome's ball and chain and smashed this nigga's head into mashed potatoes, bro. So boom. That is the end of chapter 175. We're going to go right into 176. We're going to waste no time, bro. So chapter 176 starts off with Kokushibo saying to himself, "Yoichi, whenever you smiled, I always felt sick. I couldn't help myself. Whenever we talked about how our breasts had no successors, you suddenly started being optimistic and smiled. I was very proud that our generation was going to be the only special ones. But when you smiled, I felt like throwing up out of irritation and disgust. What was so funny about it? Not letting go of the blade despite being sliced in two, using his blood demon techniques even though they're humans, not dying from bloodlust after getting cut again and again, growing at a rate that rivals demons and continuing to surpass their limits. These people who aren't even Breath of the Sun users are dyeing their blades red. What's so funny about seeing the future ahead of us? The mere thought of losing makes me seethe with anger. I will never lose again. That's right, even if my head is cut off." And at that moment, we see a panel of him kind of like seizing up, and Genya acknowledges that he stopped the bleeding. "Shinizugawa-sama, don't ease up on the attacks, drive him into a corner. Don't you dare let Tokito and Genya sacrifice their lives in vain." And then Sanemi says, "That's just what I was fucking thinking. I'm gonna hack and slash until that thing disappears from this earth." And then he says, "Breath of Wind, 8th form, first Gale Slash." And then Yome says, "Breath of Rock, 5th form, Stone Wheel of Justice." And they're not stopping, bro. They're just going constantly. It's like doing everything they can to kill this nigga. And we see Kokushibo sever Muichiro's arm, and he's attempting to pull out his blade. And damn, bro, fuck, Muichiro's not looking too good. He's not looking too good. And then Kokushibo says to himself, "I will not crumble. I can still regenerate if I can pull through this. I will not die yet. They are dead. The power in their blades and the power in their techniques will vanish very soon. Then I will conquer death even though my head is severed." And we see him here beginning to regenerate his head. And Yome and Sanemi are sending some slashes towards him. And when we see that he has regenerated, he is in a much more gross demonic form. Sanemi says, "That asshole regrew his own head. Fuck. Fucking fuck. Keep attacking. His body should be weak since he just regenerated his head. He doesn't regenerate as fast as Muzan. Aim for his head over and over." So again, they're just gonna keep, I mean, man, these niggas is like me when I play Elden Ring and I die to the boss, and I just come back using the same method over and over and over until I eventually kill that nigga. That's exactly what they're doing right here. And then Kokushibo says, "I've conquered it. Now any attacks thrown at me will be meaningless, with the exception of the sun. And now I will not lose to any." As Sanemi is approaching him, he sees a reflection of himself in his blade, and he says, "What on earth is this ugly form?" And then in the back of his mind, she says, brother, your dream was to become the strongest samurai in the country, right? I want to be like you as well. I want to become the second strongest samurai. And then he says to himself, the form of a samurai. Is this what I really wanted? And as if acknowledging that he is completely lost his way, his body begins to disintegrate. And he says, the part where Muichiro stabbed me is crumbling away. And they strike at him again. And we see some more paneling here of Genya and Sanemi striking at his body. Kokushibo saying, use techniques. I can't use my blood demon techniques. Not yet. I can still regenerate. I haven't lost yet. I have not. And then we get a panel of Yoichi saying to him, this is heart-wrenching, as Kokushibo falls to his knees and essentially just disintegrates into dust, man. To which we hear him saying to himself, the ugliness of having my head cut off and my body diced and crushed into pieces and being unwilling to accept defeat, disgrace to life. Is this why I lived for hundreds of years? Did I really not want to die so much that I turned into a hideous monster? Did I really want to be stronger so much that I ate all those humans? Did I really not want to die to the point where I became this wretched creature? No. I just... Yorichi, I just wanted to be like you. And the chapter ends there as his body disintegrates as he remembers a memory of his little brother. So skipping ahead a few chapters to chapter 179 actually, because we actually get some backstory for Kokushibo, and I want to make that its own dedicated video in the future. Skipping ahead, we see Gyome streaming, Shinazugawa, stop your attacks now. The demon isn't regenerating anymore. And bro, Sanemi is in just like a fucking daze. His eyes have rolled back and he's just attacking over and over and over and over and over. And Gyome has to literally grab him and say, Shinazugawa, it's over. Upper Moon 1 is defeated. The fight is over. It's already done. And then, oh my god, my nigga just, can you imagine just being in this state of constant just go? Where you just what? So he keels over and Gyome says, unbelievable to think that he kept moving despite losing consciousness. So boom, bro. Literally, my nigga lost consciousness and he kept going again. The GOAT, the best Hashira, the #1 Hashira. But shit, man, we cut to a picture of Genya on the ground, and this nigga is literally cut in half. I don't know how he's still alive, bro. How is this nigga still alive? So he says, Himejima-san, Aniki, Tokito-san, and then Gyome approaches Genya and says, we're alive, it's okay. And then he remembers Muichiro and he says, Tokito. And then he looks over to see Muichiro on the ground by himself, to which Genya says, don't mind me. Tokito-san, treat him, hurry. Gyome is looking down Genya and says, he's still alive in this state. It could be because he absorbed human parts. And yeah, man, as you could tell, this nigga should very much be dead, because half of his fucking body, he's literally cut in half, bro. What the fuck? And then Gyome thinks to himself, but the effects are going away along with his blood. Even though Shinazugawa has rare blood, putting them side by side should do no harm. And he then takes up Sanemi and puts him down beside his little brother Genya, to which Genya says, you're alive, thank goodness, Aniki. Bro, this shit is rough. Gyome approaches Tokito and says, Tokito, it's all thanks to you two. You won thanks to the both of you. I'm extremely grateful from the bottom of my heart, and I absolutely respect you. You were so young, very remarkable to the end. You will defeat Muzan here, head your way as well. So sleep in peace. So, I mean, there it is, man. That's Gyome literally saying to you, bro, this nigga is dying or we're dying. There's not gonna be, it's not no ifs, ands, or buts. At this point in time, we're in the end game, bro. There's no turning back. So Muichiro closes his eyes and he opens them to see his older brother, his older twin brother, to which, seeing him, the brother says, don't come here, go back. And Muichiro says, why? I worked so hard, aren't you gonna praise me? And then the brother says, why? And then he says, why? That's what I want to ask you. You could have ran away. You're only 14. And then he says, I can't abandon my friends and run away. And he says, but you wouldn't have died. Why did you even die here? It's a pointless death. Do you even know why you were born? You died when you were 11, Nissan. You were more pitiful than I am. He said, why was I born? I already know the answer to that. I was born to be happy. Isn't it the same thing for you, Nissan? Am I wrong? Were you not happy? Did you never once feel a moment of happiness? I was happy when the four of us were living together as a family, and ever since I was left alone, I've had my share of painfulness and sad moments. But I made friends, and I had fun, and I could smile again. I had so many times where I was happy that I couldn't count them all. Is that so bad? I didn't run away from anything, and I didn't turn my eyes away either. I put my life on the line for my friends, and I have no regrets about it. Don't call it a pointless death. If it was anyone else, they can say whatever they want. But I don't want you to put it that way, Nissan. Sorry. I know that, but I just didn't want you to die, Mujiro. From one fucked up situation onto the next. We see Sanemi opening his eyes, and the first thing we get is we see Gyome turning around because he hears Sanemi screaming as he sees his little brother, or what's left of him. And he says, what the fuck happened here, your body? Why is your body crumbling like a demon's? Fuck. And then we see Genya struggling to talk, and Sanemi says, don't worry, I'll do something. Nichan will do something about this. And then Genya says, Nichan, sorry. Back then I blamed you. Sorry. And for being a burden. Sorry. Then Sanemi says, you were never a burden to me, not even once. Don't die. Don't you dare die before me. Genya says, thanks for protecting me. And Sanemi says, I didn't protect you from shit, you moron. Then Genya says, you were trying to protect me, and I wanted to protect you, Nichan. We feel the same because we're brothers, and you had many horrible memories. I want you to be happy, and I want you to not die, because Nichan is the sweetest person in the world. Nigga, why am I crying? Why am I actually like, hold on, there. Oh, fuck. And then, Sanemi says, come on, God, please don't take my brother away, please. And then Genya says, thank you, Nichan. And he disintegrates into nothing. We get a panel of Sanemi holding the remains, or I guess the clothes that once held his brother, while he disintegrates into the wind. And Sanemi screaming, Genya, Genya, and he's breaking down. And in this moment, the goat, you feel me? His homie walks over to him and reminds him, he says, yo, Shinizugawa, we have to go. Raise your head up. This is not over until we defeat Muzan. And just like that, man, I literally have goosebumps reading that, because it's like, this nigga's about to turn all of this shit into fucking rage, my nigga. Fucking rage. Now, we are finally at the end of the second part of the Sanemi Glaze Fest, and I did say that I did want to include a few more moments as to why I thought that he was the best Hashira. You feel me? So boom, very quick honorable mention to wrap up the video here. This starts off in the very end game when we have all of the Hashiras jumping Muzan, and we see here Gyome pulling up to the battle, and Muzan saying, the hunter who defeated Kokushibo. And out of nowhere, that, I mean, this is the nigga's first interaction with Muzan, the King of Demons, right? Outside of that time where they tried to jump him in the Infinity Castle arc, you feel me? This is his first interaction with Muzan, the King of Demons. Sanemi's first attack on Muzan slices this nigga completely in half. He slices this nigga completely in half right down the fucking middle with his dead inside expression on his face. Right now, this nigga has left it all behind. This nigga's little brother is dead, and he's officially a crash out. He has nothing left to lose. This is the face of a nigga who's ready to crash the fuck out in by any means necessary. And after that, he tosses these little vials of oil at Muzan, which he instinctively slashes up, And again, we're about to get another one of the hardest clips here again, bro. It's about to be some crazy Sanemi Glaze. Be ready, be ready, be ready. Get your fucking goddamn Glaze protectors on, because I'm about to go crazy. He throws these little flasks of oil, and Muzan instinctively cuts that shit up, and we see my nigga flick a match, and he sets this bitch ass nigga on fire. And he says that's dirty. And then Sanemi says, well, that's it's perfect for the likes of you. I'll grind you into smithereens, you punk ass shithead. I'm not gonna lie, like, who is this nigga? Who does this nigga think he is? Who is this guy? Because I guess what? I think he might be that fucking guy, pal. Anyways, man, if you made it this far into the Sanemi Glaze Fest Part 2, I appreciate you watching. You feel me? If you like the video, like the video. If you don't like the video, you know what to do, nigga. Eat my dick.
Please stop doing crazy. All of my friends are dead. Leave them in the cold, put them in the tundra. I go rape child, second I see her, I make her fumble. I was just in Texas with Aaliyah, pussy in the jungle. They wanted to drop me me off sick, but I told them I'm coming normal. Play this shit with a white touch, a nigga like you in the form.